Hi there, and welcome to the Transcend and Succeed show. I'm Dawn Livingston, your host, and today I have an amazing guest that is here to talk to us about mobility. His name is Bobby Aldridge, a physiotherapist who has spent over 3 decades as an athlete, student, and educator of physical movement, and the creator of BAMmetrics. But instead of me telling you all about him, just take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Bobby Aldridge with BAMmetrics. There are so many programs out there that measure your swing speed, sets, reps, your BMI, your body fat, but the one thing they're not measuring that's so essential is mobility. Mobility is the key. If you're measuring your mobility, your performance will get better and you will reduce your pain. I created BAMmetrics to make it easy for people to repeat the exercises so they could do it properly at home on their own. It's simple, it's easy to do, and from a senior to a pro athlete.
So welcome, Bobby.
Oh, thanks for having me on. That was great.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And I love what you say in there about, mobility. And I know that we're going to be demonstrating, or you're going to be demonstrating some exercises that anyone can do to improve their mobility and to help their pain. But to start off with, can you tell us your story and what happened in your life that led you to where you are now?
Well, it starts back when I was basically in college, and I got a degree in kinesiology during that time. So I understand the body. And during that time, I broke my back in a car accident while I was playing basketball and baseball at the University of San Francisco. So kind of went through a lot of therapy for a year. And before that, I had broke my ankles, both of them, and torn ligaments in my knee, high school. So I've been through a lot of injuries during that time. And then I got out and started training, and I had one certification. So I was like, oh, I'm the smartest guy in the room because I know this one certification. But then as I've been training now for 30 years, it's so much information out there and so many things to learn that over the last 10 years, I was trying to help my clients get better with their movements and reduce their pain. And when I travel with my pro athletes, they kind of be lost with what they were doing. So I started putting lines on straps and putting numbers on the floor on a mat and started doing these different things to kind of simplify it for my clients and my pro athletes at the same time. So that's how I came up with the equipment that I have to help people move better at home. And what I've learned is mobility is the key to improving performance and reducing pain. And at the end of the show today, my free giveaway is going to be, if you email me, I'm going to give you a bunch of exercises, and I'm going to give you a little sheet that I give all my people when they order their stuff. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to take a look at this because this will change your life. It will help you move better and you'll feel better. I'm lucky to have run into the people I ran into over all these years because it's helped me. I'm 53 now and I had 2 hip replacements last year. So to understand
Wow.
where you are and what you're trying to do, I can do everything now. I can move, I play golf, I run, I do whatever I want pain free. The reason I had 2 hip replacements, because you think like, why would a guy that does mobility have hip replacements? Because back in the day, we used to squat 400, deadlift 500, do box jumps off a 10-foot ladder, land on the ground, jump in the air. So we compressed our bone into my hip. So I was bone on bone, right? We didn't do mobility, we didn't foam roll, we didn't do yoga, we didn't do any of the stuff that nowadays, oh my God, if we would have been doing that 25 years ago, we probably wouldn't need a hip replacement. My brother had a hip replacement too. So I like to teach you guys how to feel better before you need to go in for surgery. Start younger, get you guys at 30, get you guys at 25, and you will not have those hip replacements and knee replacements. So it's been years and years and years of finding out what helps people the most, and these tools, which I'll show you today, how they will help you. It really will make a difference, and it doesn't matter what you do. It's how the body moves. It's not the sport. It's how the body moves, and that's what I'm going to get over to you guys today.
Okay, so the tools that you designed, that you developed then, did that have any bearing on your experience as a physiotherapist? Did you see that there was something missing or something that you wanted to do in a different way? Is that what inspired you to create those
I
tools?
didn't I made it to make it easier for you guys to understand. If I tell you to put your feet here and then put your feet 2 boxes apart and then 3 boxes apart, you understood that. Because normally, if there's nothing there, sometimes people, my funniest situation was I'd go, "Hey, ladies, put your feet hip width apart." Some ladies thought their hips were this big. They'd put them down on the ground. I'm like, "Your hips aren't that big. Bring them in here. I want them here." Right? So it's like, what's the metric people understand is not always the same metric. Okay. And I have a story where I had 39 physical therapists in a room and I was teaching them how to use my tools. And I said, "You guys know the staggered stance mini band walk?" And they all said yes. And I said, "Great. Come on out. Give me 3 therapists." So I gave them a light band, a medium band, and a heavy band. I said, "Go ahead, start doing it." They started doing it, and then I said to the other therapist, "Hey, what would you change about their movement?" And they go, "Oh, you have to put your feet wider. Oh my God, you got to put your feet here. Oh my God, you got to put your feet there." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, stop." So therapists are telling therapists how to do this. How are the patients going to do it when they go home? How well are they going to do it? Right. So then I flipped my mats over, 3 of them. And I said, "You do 1 box, you do 2 boxes, and you do 3 boxes." And the lady that I told 3 boxes had the heaviest band on. I did it on purpose. They started moving, and I said, "Now what would you change about their movement?" And they said, "Oh, she's got to move in 1 box." And I was like, ding, ding, ding. Now we're speaking the language. There's a 1 box, 2 box, 3 box. We have a language. So are you on the heavy band 3 boxes? You're pretty strong. That gives me an idea of what you can do. If you're on 1 box on the lightest band, okay, you have a lot of room for improvement. But soon as I show you guys, everyone listening, soon as I show you the exercise, it makes total sense. And you go, aha, I can do this. And you start with the lightest band 1 box. And then next week you try 2 boxes. And in the 3rd week you try 3 boxes. And then in the 4th week, you can go up to the next band and start over again. But all of you can do this on your own without a professional trainer telling you how to do this, right? Because most of the time I have to tell you, put your feet wider. No, put your feet closer. No, put your feet wider. And I'm constantly, until I had the mat. Now I just show them, they do it perfectly right away. And so that's why during COVID, I was super busy because everybody was home and they had their home program to do this stuff. One of my funniest stories was the guy Forbes Collins. He's on my website. If you go to my website, bam-metrics.com, and scroll down, you will see Forbes' little text that he sent me. 2.5 months I trained him during COVID, and then golf opened up. So he went out to play and he didn't have his driver with him. So he was like only playing with his 3 wood. And he sends me a text that says, "Holy crap, do I have a new gear?" I'm pretty sure I was hitting the ball 350 with my 3 wood. It felt like I was cheating. Thanks, Bob, for the workouts. And so I literally put that text on the website to share with people. And then his swing is right there with him, showing how fast he swings because he swings 130 miles an hour. But the best part was he was pain free. His shoulder pain went away, his back pain went away because he was doing what I wanted him to do during COVID instead of going to the gym, lifting more weights, lifting more weights, lifting more weights. And like I said, mobility is the key to improving performance and reducing pain. So, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I also had a back injury around about 2005. I was in a karate class and was thrown badly, landed heavily on my hip, and I broke the bottom disc in my back.
Mm,
And they knew that surgery would take all the debris out, and then the pain would go away because I had horrible sciatica. But because
hmm
I couldn't bend over and touch my toes, the surgeon told me that I wasn't ready for surgery, even though I was in the worst pain imaginable at that time. He told me, he says, I need you to go away and I need you to get more mobile. He says, when you can touch your toes, then you can come back and see me. And all he told me to do was some light walking. There was nothing, there was no way, there was no physiotherapy, there was no way he told me how I could get myself more supple and more mobile other than walking. So this sounds like a really good plan, actually.
it, it's like they don't understand mobility, how the body moves, right? The shoulders, the hips, the knees, the ankle. Everything's connected. And it's not really muscles, it's fascia. Fascia wraps the muscles. So, what we're doing is we're trying to lengthen the body out, right? I should show you guys some of these exercises so it makes sense to you. It's like the wall windmill is
Yeah,
like an unbelievable exercise because what we're doing when we stand there and we do this exercise like this is everything's touching the wall. My head, my shoulders, my hands. Many men can't get their fingers on the wall and they can't get their head on the wall because they're like this, right? As they get older. So by doing this exercise, you're opening up the whole body because most of us are this way because we're in on the computer, we're doing things in front of us all the time, right? This is going to open you up. So by doing this exercise, you're taking out rotation in your body by pulling that out, right? And everything's touching the wall. So I'm going to have you do this where you do it one box apart, two boxes apart, three boxes apart, and you'll just start with 10, okay? But what you're doing is you're learning to move in the sagittal plane. So any of you that play any sports after work, this is a very important part to have moving properly is we call it your T-spine, okay? It's just your upper body right here. And if you're compromised with a rounded shoulder forward and you go to play pickleball, tennis, golf, any of these sports that you're going to try to get your arm up and you're rounded forward, well, that's going to cause you issues. So one of my favorite ones that I have everyone do is using the blocks. Every night before bed, I have them lay down on these blocks and they look like this. You're, like I said, rounded forward. So this is going to be the opposite movement. It's going to open you up this way. And you just lay down, put your arms up on the blocks, and lay here for 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. It's just going to open up your chest and shoulders. And if you see my feet, can you see my feet? When they're
I can see
on
your
the,
feet. Yeah.
yeah. So most men would have their feet up. They can't get them down to the ground because they don't have the rotation in their lower body. So I give them another exercise to do after this that's super simple. Again, just lay on the blocks. You're not going to sweat. You're not going to do anything, but it's taking out the rotation and it's evening out left to right your upper body. Does that make sense? So
It does.
super, super simple. Then you flip on your back, put the block between your knees, and then try to externally rotate your feet this way. Okay. So when I was saying that your feet don't rotate in, the most men cannot get their feet on the ground when they first try that. It's because their femur has no 45-degree angle in the rotation there. And this is one reason why so many people have back pain. If you don't have the internal rotation in your femur, then you have trouble walking. It's stiff, right? So by learning these super simple exercises, once you know them, right? And for everyone that orders, you get videos with these, so you can just follow the videos. They're really simple. But like I was saying, internal rotation on the wall windmill, when I do this exercise, my foot on the line here is matching, so it's internally rotated. So when I do this exercise, I'm going side to side, everything's touching the wall, but I'm getting internal rotation as I do this, right? So if you see me this way, my feet are slightly rotated in. Can you see my feet right here?
Yep, can now.
So
Hmm.
It's slightly rotated in, okay? So that's why the mat's important, that you use that line to match my feet like that. Now my hips are slightly internally rotated. So when I go this way, right, I'm internal, this is external, and then when I go this way, internal, external. So I'm actually working my hips and my adductors. Again, most men are so tight, they can't get out here. So this is 4 boxes. Then I want you to get to 5 boxes. Most men can't stand here like this with 5 boxes. Okay. They're going to be just too tight in their inner thighs. So again, over the month, start here, 2, 3, do that for a month. And maybe in that second month, you might be able to get out to 4. And then in the 6th month, you might be able to get out to 5. But you're slowly progressing and slowly getting better at simple movements. So this goes for a pro athlete, or this goes for somebody who just wants to walk better and have less pain. So, like I said, it took me a couple years to figure out what exercises could I give to everyone that maximizes their movement. Because most people say you can't give everybody the same workout. I can, based on movement. I'm going to basically brush your teeth. I call it brushing your body. I'm going to get all the joints, including the hands, including the elbow, including the shoulder, how to move better. So we're not tight like this. Most people put their arms out and they're like this. They can't extend them. They can't pull back behind them. They can't rotate their shoulders properly. All these little joints are going to move better. So you have to move better first before you move often. The FMS talks about that, the functional movement screen. And like I said, all the different certifications, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, the NSCA, National Strength and Conditioning Association, we're always talking about movement. So move well, mobility, then add strength. And this is what I tell people. If you go to the gym and you just go start working out, you are strengthening your dysfunctions. That's for everyone. Unless you're doing a windmill and pulling out that rotation, unless you're laying on the blocks and taking out that rotation, unless you're doing the runner stretch and lengthening that spine and if you're not doing these, you're not ready to move and add strength to it. If you add strength to a body that doesn't move well, you're strengthening dysfunction, and dysfunction leads to pain. So eventually it's going to come and get you, just a matter of when. And that's what 9 out of 10, if not almost 10 out of 10 in the gym are doing. Most people don't know these simple exercises. Even pro athletes, highest level. I have guys all the time that come to me who have had trainers, they've had physical therapists, chiropractors. They've never done probably 6 to 10 exercises I will show them. And they're super simple. They're not like magic. It's just how the body moves. Like I just showed you a few of them. But once you learn these, this is stuff you will do for life. And this is what will keep you moving for life, so you actually can do what you love to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I must admit, I'll hold my hand up and say I'm really terrible at looking after myself and the mobility side, really terrible. Because I'll get up early, and if I have something to do, I'll sit at my desk for, well, until 5 o'clock, and then I just go and do what I normally do. Do not take time for myself. It's really bad, but I know we're going to address something like that later on.
Well,
I think now is a good time. We'll just take a quick. You were saying something. Carry on. You cut out there for a second.
Oh, I was just going to say that's what I always talk about.
We'll take a quick break just now, and then I'm sorry we've got a bit of a delay. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back. Hold on.
Sounds good.
Hi there, I'm Dan Hafner. I'm the host of the show Tech Bites with Dan Hafner. Join me live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Achieve TV network for the latest technology and business news and advice. Join me right here on E360 TV.
And welcome back to Transcend and Succeed show. We're here with Bobby Aldridge and we're talking mobility. Now, just before the break, I had mentioned that I'm really terrible. I sit at my desk a lot, sometimes for 10 hours a day. And I know it really does make a difference. It makes me feel tight and heavy. And I do feel that my shoulders pull in. But when I do some exercise, and even if it's just 5 minutes on the treadmill, it makes me feel so much better. So, what advice do you have for these people that sit behind their desk all day?
Well, this is what I teach in corporate wellness. I just wrote a book on it. If you go to Amazon and look up Bobby Aldridge, you will see the books that I have, one for physical therapy, one for corporate wellness, and one for golf. And the corporate wellness one is called the desk jockeys. So you guys all sit at your desk and you're my desk jockeys. So during the day, I teach you guys how to move throughout the day. So when you leave work, you go home and do what you love to do. You don't have to go exercise. You don't have to go. We're going to mobilize your body so you can do what you love to do when work's done, right? So how do you do that at work? What do you do? One little trick is I sit on this ball. So right now I'm sitting
Oh,
on a stability ball while I sit here. So in between my podcast or whatever I'm on, I lay back and I stretch on the ball for 1 minute, just like this. Open up your chest and shoulders, make your body feel a little bit more open. Anyone can do that during the day and mix that in a few times during the day. Then when I do a corporate wellness program and I set up, like what I do with Lucasfilms and Pixar, I'll take where I'll drop mats on the ground in the office, and then on your way to the bathroom, on the way back to your office, stop and do a windmill. Put your feet, 3 boxes apart, and do a set of 10, 20, 30, and then go back to your desk. So you just pulled out some of that rotation. You got your chest, shoulders, and back a little bit upright, and you're going to start feeling better as you start mixing this in. When you're at your desk and you're going to go to lunch, do a runner stretch. Stand up, do a runner stretch. Put your feet in a line and feel that stretch from the bottom of your foot up the calf, into the back, up into the neck. This stretches your neck out. It's called the runner stretch. So really simple exercises, but you're mixing these in throughout the day. And then by the end of the day, before you leave, lay on the blocks. So at the offices where I help, there's blocks in the offices. So they can just go lay on those before they leave for 5 minutes and then do a wall squat and then leave. Your body's in a better position. So all that at the computer for hours, this at least opens you up a little bit, right? So it's over time. It's like brushing your teeth. You have to do this stuff every day because you don't brush your teeth like once or twice a week, right? That's how people treat their body. And then they go like 30 years later, oh, my back, oh, my shoulder, oh, I'm so stiff. If you do a little bit every day, you're keeping that fascia and muscle moving properly. Your body knows this stuff, okay? Babies, right? They can squat down like this and play all day long, right? They have no problem squatting, right? So they down and play, right? Total range of motion throughout the hips. It's the reason why in Asia, they don't have hip, knee, and ankle problems because they squat to go to the bathroom every day, right? So they're squatting at a minimum 2 to 3 times a day, fully down to the ground. And most Americans never go below 90 degrees. So they have no range of motion in their knees or their hips. They're stiff as could be, right? Then they want to go play a sport or go running or play tennis or do these things. Their body isn't in the position to do that. So it's just a matter of time before they're injured. And then they just say, oh, well, I'm old. Oh, well, no, it's not that you're old. It's that you're just losing the stuff that you used to have when you were born. Everyone, when they were born, can squat. I mean, unless they have some hip dysplasia or something going on that they were born with, that's different. But for the most part, babies are the most functional, and we all were babies. So we all had that mobility. We've just lost it because we don't use it anymore. Use it or lose it. We all hear that. So yeah, so I try to teach you guys how to just start to move a little bit at a time. Do 1, 2, or 3 of these a day, then mix in some foam rolling, which I explain in the videos. Like I show you one exercise and I show you how to foam roll, and then I show you how to use the bands. And you want to do it in that order. So you don't want to strengthen, remember, don't want to strengthen dysfunction. So let's move well. So we do our windmill. Then I think, what should I foam roll? If I did a windmill, I'm going to foam roll my T-spine, or I'm going to foam roll my inner thighs, or I'm going to foam roll my IT band. 1, 2, or 3 of those, right? Then I'm going to go like, okay, I feel pretty good. I foam rolled. Now I'm going to strengthen my hips. So I'm going to put those bands on my knees and do double band, mini band. These are the exercises I'm going to give you guys at the end if you email me. So this is the stuff I'm talking about that will make you feel better if you do it in that order. Mobilize, do an exercise where you move, then foam roll, then strengthen it with the bands. And everyone can do this. It's all done at home. There's just 3 tools that I have for you guys to use, and then add this stability ball right here to the mix. And I'm telling you, you'll feel so much better with so little work. And you don't have to do it all every day. You just pick different exercises. And that's what I tell people. The videos I send you, do this video today, do the other video tomorrow, do the other video the next day, and then go back to the first video that you did so you can repeat it and get better at it. Don't even go below and do the other 9 exercises that are below. Just do those 3 and get better at that, because over time, right? It's like money in the bank. $5 a day, it's like, no big deal. But 10 years later, $5 a day, oh, that's a big kitty you got there, right? That's how your body is. And not enough people know that and understand that, but it's literally like brushing your teeth. So you're going to notice that, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 4 months later, wow, God, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. My back's not stiff. And if it is, you know how to fix it. You know how to kind of dive into it and do a few things to make it feel better. And that's what's empowering. That's why I'm trying to get into the healthcare, more into the Kaiser, St. Joseph's Hospital, all the big, hospitals around here. They should be using my tools in those offices, helping these people do their own stuff at home. They got to learn how to do it properly at home, because going to the therapist once or twice a week for 12 weeks isn't going to make them better. They have to literally do a little bit every day. So their ankles move better, their knees feel better, their hips feel better, and their shoulders don't hurt. If you can do that, it just makes life that much more fun, because you can go do whatever you want, whenever you want, pain-free. Which I tell the employers, I said, this is the bosses, it's the most important thing is you want them to be efficient at work. Well, if they're on pain meds, or they have back pain, or they have shoulder pain, they're not going to be as efficient, because they're going to be thinking about that, which is going to reduce their output. So I always say, give them a little bit of time at work, 15, 30 minutes, whatever you want to break it up. Make sure you do a 15-minute break in the morning, 30-minute lunch, or an hour lunch, and then 15-minute in the afternoon. So it's an hour at minimum throughout the day, if not an hour and a half, of time for them at work to take care of themselves. I don't care if they just go lay on the blocks, lay on their back, put their feet up the wall, simple things, but they're going to be feeling better. So they're going to, when they go back to the office, they're breathing better, right? If you're kyphotic and you're rounded forward like this, you breathe very shallow. You breathe very shallow. If your chest, shoulders, and everything's open, well, your lungs can take in all that oxygen, which makes your brain go, like right now, if you guys would just do this, take a deep breath in through your nose, breathe in through the nose, as big a breath as you can. Kind of try to count to 8. Hold it for 4. Exhale for 8. Most people can't even do it. Inhale for 8. Hold it for 4. Exhale for 8. Just 4 of those breaths will give you that, oh, wow, feel kind of like, sometimes they'll feel lightheaded or much calmer. It takes away the anxiety. That's a super simple trick to learn. And then what I get you to do is when I'm in the office with you, is I like you to go on your back and I like you to do 12 of those breaths. So you really slow it down. Big breath in through the nose, hold it, 4, exhale. And when I have you exhale, I teach you to vibrate your lips where you're exhaling, where you're vibrate your lips. That vibration calms the body. It's an amazing feeling. Or you can do an like people like let it out. Just people feel funny at work making noise, so I have them vibrate their lips. If you're at home, lay on the ground and go and let that breath out, because it literally gets your body to calm down. It's a weird thing. I thought it was like, this is bullshit when I first heard this. And I was like, no, this can't really work, but it does. And one of my friends was doing it with his wife upstairs, and she's like, Todd, you all right? You all right? She thought he was dying downstairs because he's all
Oh no.
So it is pretty funny. But these are just simple things that you guys can all do. You don't need to go to the gym. You could do this every day at home. Super simple. Implement it into your lifestyle, and then do what all you guys like to do, whatever that is. So
Yeah, moving it, slowly but surely. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, I would also like to say as well, with doing these exercises, you can probably see me correcting my posture a few times. But with, pulling the shoulders back and opening up the chest, it actually opens up the heart chakra too, which will allow some negativity out. And these deep breathing exercises, I totally agree with those. I do those several times through the day. It helps you to expand your lungs, it gets oxygen to your brain, and it does wake you up a little bit. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And the thing is, if you're doing the breath so and you're very kyphotic, rounded shoulders forward, like a lot of people nowadays have forward neck. Your neck being forward, if it's just an inch forward, it goes up 15 pounds. So your head weighs 15 pounds. When it's forward an inch, it goes up to like 25, 30 pounds. When it's forward 2 inches, it's now 35 to 40 pounds, right? So if your neck's
Oh,
that
wow.
much further forward, you've got 45 pounds pulling on your neck right here because your neck is forward,
Yeah.
right? So what happens to people when they say, oh, that Dowager hump that people have? That's 100% because their neck is forward. So it makes a lump right here to hold on to the neck. It's like extra strings to hold on to your neck because it weighs 45 pounds now. So if your neck's back here and it's in a line, there's no pressure on it. There's zero pressure on it, right? It's using the regular S curve that we have that you should have.
Yeah.
And that's why these exercises I'm going to show you guys, we're basically brushing your teeth in all the spots. We're going to hit all those spots. So you're not going to just brush the back. Most people just brush the back and go, why do I have cavities over here? Because you never touch that side. You never go in there. That's what most people do with their fitness. And they all have cavities. I mean, I'm dealing with cavities every day. I'm dealing with these people that have aches, pains. Oh, my hip hurts here. Oh, my back hurts here. And then they go have surgeries that aren't necessary. That goes on all the time because the surgeons don't know how to fix you. They were taught to do surgery. So when you go see them,
Yeah.
they're going to do surgery. If you go see a doctor, the doctor doesn't know how to fix you either. He's going to give you medicine. He's going to give you a cortisone shot. He's going to give something to cover it up. A cortisone shot is just going to cover up the pain, but the joint hasn't changed. So the pain will come back. It's just a matter of time. That cortisone shot will not fix your problem unless you're doing exercises during the time that you feel better to get the body in a better position. Then it's beneficial. But otherwise, I tell people, do not do cortisone. Do not do those because they're masking the pain and you're only going to be worse later, because if you feel good, you're going to go do stuff that you shouldn't be doing, and it's going to cause us an issue. So
Yeah, and those sort of treatments, although they can be fine temporarily, they're just like throwing a band-aid on the problem. We're not actually getting to the root
yes,
cause.
hundred
Whereas the
percent.
mobility, yeah, the mobility, if you go straight there and address that, then the symptoms will naturally disappear, or they just won't appear in the first place. Yeah,
Exactly. And I wish I would have known this stuff way back when I was doing all my squats and lunges and all this stuff, because I would have been pain
me
free, but
too.
I would also have been stronger. I didn't know this. 4 years ago, my son was 12 and they finished baseball practice, and we have a baseball facility. So the kid said, "Can we have a bench press contest with the bar?" And I said, "Sure." So they hopped on there and they did 18. Then the high school kids jumped in and they did 38. Then the college kids jumped in and they did 78. And then they said, "Bob, what can you do?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I used to bench 315. I could do 104. I remember doing it." So I go, now I bench about 250, 260 at the most. I'm not as strong, so that's going to be kind of difficult. So I'm thinking, man, this is going to be hard. Here we go. So my goal was 79 because they got 78, and we get going. So 7,500, 150, 200. I did 200. How's that possible? I'm like, what? So it's because I'm not compromised. Where back in the day when I was lifting and I was strong, I was rounded forward. So my shoulders felt the pain, right? When I did it last time. This time, I felt no shoulders. It was effortless power. And my triceps got tired, which is what it should have been last time. But I wasn't as functional as I am now, which made me stronger. So I doubled my output being weaker,
Hmm.
but I'm actually more functional. So that was the day I left going, oh my God, my freaking routine is working awesome. I didn't even understand it when I thought about it, like, oh wow, I'm in a better position. So it was literally eye-opening to me 4 years ago. So like I said to you guys, it's not complicated. You don't have to sweat. You can just literally do a lot of these exercises in your clothes. Very, very simple to do. And you'll have a metric to it because you'll be measuring your movement. You'll see it. So that's what makes it guaranteed results for everyone, not just the athletes, just for the average person trying to get better. This is what makes it so good for you guys. So, yeah, I hope you guys will email me, get those few exercises, see how it's really working, and then make a decision on getting your stuff so you can do this on your own, because it is that simple. I'm trying to really change healthcare. What's going on? There's too many people in pain. They don't need to be. All
Yeah.
these corporate wellness programs. You can't give a gym membership or a yoga class and call it corporate wellness. You have to actually do wellness. And that's what my program does. So everyone that does it feels better, goes and does what they love to do, pain free.
Okay, kinesiology. I know you have a bachelor's in kinesiology. Can you tell us what that is and how you use it in your business?
Well, it's just a study of the body. So back in the day, I was going through anatomy and all the different things you learn to understand the body. But my education really came from experience, actually doing the stuff and hurting
Mhm.
myself and trying this and hurting myself. My ego was so big back in the day, my first 5 years, because I was just working out, and I was a workout, crazy man. But there was a day I was gonna go lunge a mile. Okay. I thought I was gonna go lunge a mile, right? So I get there and I'm ready to go because we used to lunge with 200 pounds, 300 pounds on our back, and we do lunges, right? And so we're thinking, I can lunge forever. I never get sore. Across the gym, I'll do 40. It's like, are you kidding me? I need weight on the back. This is stupid. So I get to the track and I start lunging. I'm about 100 yards in, maybe, and I'm like, oh my God, my butt's on fire. And I'm thinking, I came here to do 4 laps. I'm going to have to do one. I got to push through at least one lap. This is ridiculous. So I do it. It's 363 lunges. Okay. The next day I get out of bed. My back was killing me. I did damage to my back because I didn't really lunge properly. I came up and hammered my back. But long story short, I learned that too much is too much. Did it wrong form. And, it was an eye-opening thing to go like, okay, better form, less reps would have been a lot better. And I shouldn't have done that. But, stupid things like that taught me, okay, learn from that experience and grow. And that happened multiple times in the gym because we didn't have trainers teaching us. We were trainers, but we were literally learning on our own. We had one certification. There wasn't a lot then. Now there's so much information. There's so much stuff out there. And that's what I think gets people lost. They're not sure what to do. What I always tell them is this stuff I have for you guys is complementary to whatever you do. It just simplifies movement for you. So when you do go to the gym, you can actually get stronger. You can actually do stuff to not hurt your shoulder or your back or your knees. You'll actually learn how to move properly. And that literally is the key for why I'm trying to get to like NFL, NBA, go through the list of all these different athletes out there because they're not doing this stuff and they're hurting themselves all the time at the highest level. And their trainers should be teaching them these things. It's just a no-brainer. So
Yeah. And I know a lot of people, they either complain about not having the time to exercise and holding my hand up here, probably finding a lot of excuses not to exercise. So how long really per day do we need to do as a bare minimum to keep ourselves mobile and healthy?
well, there's like two ways you can do it. You could either do it for time or you can mix it in throughout the day. And that's where I get into lifestyle. If you mix it in throughout the day, it's more fitting it into your lifestyle because everybody's got a different schedule, busy kids, the whole thing, work, hours, tired. Oh, the last thing you want to do is get off work, go work out. Some people say, right? Some people just can't wait to get off work to go work out, right? But those are those people, and they're probably hurting themselves anyway, because they're going all out and that sort of thing. So I say mix it into your lifestyle. That's the easiest way. But if you're going to break it into how long, 15 minutes a day, 15. And it'd be awesome if you could do like 7.5 to 10 minutes in the morning, 7.5 and 10 minutes at night. So you get a couple times of the day. It's like brushing your teeth. It's literally like I try to get you guys to think about this is brush your teeth twice a day, right? Probably morning, night, okay, at a minimum. So just hit your body with that. Like do the windmills. Like first thing I did this morning, I get up, take a shower. But in the shower, I did the runner stretch. I reached up over my head and I leaned to the side. I grab my tricep and I lean to the side. So I'm just slowly waking the fascia up, a little more length up to wake up. Then I come downstairs and it was 5 in the morning. You're not really ready to roll. So I went over and I did some windmills right before I hopped on my call. Then I hopped on my call with my athlete and I started talking about what we're going to do. And I did a few things with him. So I was mixing it in throughout the day. And that's what I do because I'm married, 2 kids, work all day, usually 5 in the morning till 7 at night. So there's not a lot of time that when I get off work, do you think I want to go work out at 7? I've worked out 12 times already, right? I've literally gone through the workouts 12 times with these people talking about this. It's the last thing I want to do. So if I didn't do anything and if I'm going to do nothing and want to relax, I do it in front of the TV. So I have my stuff up there in a thing right next to the TV. I open up the cupboard, I grab out a couple tools. I might foam roll, I might bands, I might roll my feet out. I'll do something, but I'm watching TV. I'll lay there, I'll pop my feet up, open my hands, feet are up the wall, and just watch TV like that. Spread my feet wide. Little easy things to get my body moving while I watch TV. So that's how I fit it in, So I got morning shower, night TV, couple times there. I'm getting it, right? And if I did that today, tomorrow I'll do something different, right? My shower routine is usually the same, but my night routine will change. So if I did foam rolling and feet and things like that, I might go, I'm going to concentrate on my hips tonight. And then tomorrow I'm going to concentrate on my shoulders. So I'll do the blocks right now. I'm going to do this to strengthen my shoulders, right? And I'll pick a couple exercises with the blocks to help my shoulders. So that's what I want you guys to do is figure out your lifestyle And how could you watch one video in the morning and do that exercise, and then watch one video at night and do that exercise? And like I said, do it in front of the TV or listening to music or whatever it is that you guys like to do. So you're not wasting time while you're watching TV. You're actually making yourself better. So tomorrow you can go pain free to do whatever it is that you like to do.
Yeah, yeah. No, great advice. And I know that you've worked with professional golfers and baseball players, etc. So do you have any success stories that you could share with us about how
Uh,
your system has benefited them?
Well, my one player has won 3 golf tournaments this year, and, he called me yesterday. He won his tournament yesterday, 3-day tournament, and, he said, "Bob, dude, I am feeling great. My back feels amazing. My hips aren't tight right now. Da 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 da." He's got qualifying school for the PGA Tour next week for the Corn Ferry, and he's so excited about it because he's feeling awesome. And he's never done deadlifts until we just started him a couple months ago. And he said to me the other day, he's all, "Man, I hated those things when we started. Literally hated the deadlifts." And he said, "Now I'm kind of starting to like them." So, yeah, and I mean, I have another success story that was really great is the San Francisco Giants doctor. His wife had pain for 9 months. She came to see me because of some referrals. And I saw her on 3 Wednesdays, Wednesday, and the following Wednesday. On the Thursday, she went out and shot the lowest round of golf she's ever shot pain free, which was 78. And then the next day, she went out and played again and shot 77. So back to back days, she beats her best score. So the husband comes to see me. And during those 2 weeks, I'm seeing him. He said, "Oh, what are you doing with her? Like, what's going on?" And I said, "I'm doing these simple exercises." And she's been doing them consistently. So she's moving better. We got rid of her pain. Da 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 da. So he goes, "Have you ever thought about writing a book on this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've actually been working on it for like a couple of years. And you think I should do it?" And he's all, "Oh, definitely. This is like everyone should be doing this. It is so simple." Um, and so those are a couple, really nice stories because she had access to all the San Francisco Giants doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, all the pain specialists, right? And saw them all, and she still had back pain. So that's how simple this is, that I'd see her once a week for 3 weeks and it dissipates because you can do this, like I said, on your own. I'm teaching her the same stuff I threw in those videos for you guys. And yeah, so
I'm just wondering about something that, is, I mean, it's pretty simple, isn't it? It's just these easy exercises. Have you ever had any pushback from people in the medical profession about it? Or is it just positive feedback that you're getting?
no, in the medical, when I talk to physical therapy and I try to get it into the clinics, a lot of times they'll take it personally that I'm telling them that they're not doing it properly, but it's not about that. I'm just saying the mat will help with, you know, if I sit in any physical therapy clinic for 2 hours, they'll do 12 to 18 exercises that my mat will help them with. And so I sit there and then I talk to the owner and said, "Hey, you guys should implement the mat. This is the reasons why I saw you guys did these exercises." And then I'll get pushback that, "Oh, I don't want to add something new to what they're doing. I don't want to do." And like I said in the beginning, this is complementary to whatever you're doing and it's a tool. This isn't an exercise like do this only. This is a tool to help you be more efficient. And the simple way I could explain it to you is if I told you to go to the gym and I took all the numbers off the weights, how would you lift weights? How would you know what to grab? That's what people do with mobility. My mat says put your feet here. So today we're here, tomorrow we're here, and the next day we're here. So what happens on that day when you come back? Can you repeat what we just did? Not if you don't have my mat. You'll put them in a ballpark of an area. But a lot of times, especially if I teach you a hip flexor stretch, if you put your foot a little further forward on the right foot every time, you're going to teach yourself to rotate to the right more automatically. So everyone is doing that. If you want to have it the same or more symmetrical and take out that rotation and get it a little bit more symmetrical, you're going to have that mat to go, my foot's at 41 on the right. So when I switch to my other side, I put it at 41. And then you might say, "Oh, wow, it feels so much easier on this side than it does that side." Well, then you better spend some more time on the other side. And that's how you know hey, how much foam rolling should I do? You now know because you can feel the difference because of the metric. You can actually see the number of where you are. It'd be like lifting bench press and just grab a weight and throw it on. How's that feel? Oh, it might feel light today, it might feel heavy tomorrow, but you have no idea. You're totally guessing, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's chaos. I've taken the chaos away. So that's the pushback I get from some of the physical therapy clinics. And then I went and talked to Kaiser, and I left my mat and I said, I'd love to talk to you guys. And the guy goes, oh, I'm not interested. We don't have a need for that right now. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
how do you not have a need for it? It's a tool that makes it more efficient for you and for your patients. So I'm literally this week going to go try to make contacts with the bosses of Kaiser. Like I'm going to go above their head. I tried to talk to the physical therapy clinic that was in charge, the head guy, but he's the one that blew me off. And this goes on all the time. It's like
Mhm.
they're still using candles, and I've invented electricity, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want that electricity. I'm going to keep using candles. And this is a funny story. Henry Ford, back in the day, he's working on his car and making a faster car and a faster car, and people would come into him and try to say, how do I get a faster horse? So they didn't want his fast car. They wanted a faster horse because that's what they know. That's kind
Mhm.
of what I'm dealing with people. And
Yeah.
so it's been a slow change to get people to understand this
Well,
is
it's outside
definitely
their realm of
necessary.
thinking, isn't it? It's outside what they've been taught, so it feels a little alien to them, I suppose. And I think that's kind of a natural reaction. Yeah, people don't often, they're not often accepting of different ideas of doing things. There's just a natural pushback, I think. I'm going to pop this up now. I want you to tell us if somebody wanted to start working with you, what are the tools that they would need to do so?
You guys start with those mat blocks and bands. Go get the mat blocks and bands. And that is the three basic tools to use forever. And it's not going to be a pretty shiny object you stick underneath your bed. Just do a few of these every day. And I promise you, keep doing whatever you're doing. And if you're doing nothing, you're starting out in the best spot ever because you're going to start doing the right things as you start adding things that you like to do, walking, jogging, swimming, whatever those things are. But like I said, if you guys email me, Bobby at BAMmotion.com, okay, right there, then you can put in there, mobility is key. And I'm going to send you guys these free videos to look at. And I'm going to give you a little card that I give to everyone that gives you the exercise, the main basic ones to do. And you can try to do these without my mat and blocks, but the blocks, you just lay on them at night before you go to bed. The mat, there's hundreds of exercises for you guys to do that you pick and choose that maybe a trainer can help you with, or you can look on YouTube and see a bunch of different things that you can do. But this is super simple, guys. Just use your camera, pop on there, go to the website, go to shop, and then pick up the mat, the blocks, and the bands, and you're set to go. And I promise you, you're gonna feel better. And make sure to email me. Mobility is key. Just write that. Mobility is key, because then I know you listen to this. It is the thing I'm trying to get over to everyone. Start with mobility, end with adding strength, end with getting better cardio, end with all that other stuff. But first, get moving properly, and you'll start to dissipate that pain that you're having. And if you're not in pain, sometimes you haven't put any demand on your body. As soon as you put demand on your body and you're compromised, that's where the pain will get you. Because I've had people say, I don't hurt. It's not about you have to hurt. I don't want you to ever hurt.
Just do
So
this before you start to
do
hurt.
this
Yeah,
before you start to hurt. I call it prehabbing before you need rehab.
before you
Prehab
need
before you need
rehab.
rehab. That's literally all my athletes, and a lot of them. It's tough sometimes because they feel great, they're strong, they're pretty mobile, but they'll kind of take shortcuts, and then all of a sudden their knee hurts, and I'm like, well, are you doing your runner stretch? Are you doing your windmill? Are you doing your blocks? And they go, well, no, I kind of skipped it up. And I go, well, get back to that, and then we'll talk about that knee as that knee feels better right away. So, you know, at the highest level, they screw up all the time too. That's why they need us. We're there to yell at them and say, no, no, do it again, do more, get it finished. do it
Well, I'll tell
properly.
you, I need you to yell at me. I need to get on board with this and do something really, really quickly before I really do start to feel, start to really, really hurt. But Bobby, thank you so much for coming on. That's been fantastic information. Really excellent. There's
Thank
the
you.
information on screen for people. There's Bobby's email. And if anybody's got any questions, they can reach out to him. But for now, thank you so much. And thank you
Yeah.
to the viewers, whether you're watching live or on demand. And take care for now. And we will see you next time. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Bye, guys.